Now, when they say Breedon on the hill, that's exactly what it means. This Carboniferous limestone hill rises 400 feet above sea level, and it's 3 miles from East Midlands Airport, about 2 miles from Donington Park motor circuit. Now, the bulwarks are the ruins of a once 22-acre Iron Age hill fort that once surrounded the site, but half of it has been destroyed by quarrying. A 1946 excavation identified occupation between the 1st century BC and the 1st century AD, and there's a lot of speculation that there was once a pagan shrine stood here. Now, this has amused me since I was a youngster. Simple things. Bree is derived from the Celtic word for hill, and the Old English word dun also is a word for hill, which could be translated as hill, hill, hill the hill, instead of breeding on the hill. Now, this priory church is considered one of the most important churches in England and is Grade 1 listed, and it's famous for housing one of the largest and finest collections of 8th century Anglo-Saxon sculptures in the country, including the renowned Breedon Angel, and one carving in the form of a frieze and panels, which are from the original Saxon minster, were preserved through all this upheaval over a period of 1,400 years, and there's 63 feet of this frieze in all. This is some of what's left of the embankment of the Iron Age fort. Sadly, you can't make out a lot. Most of it's gone because of the quarrying over that side. You can see why they built it here, look. Easy to defend. Don't want to run up there and attack somebody, too steep. Ooh, you can see an enemy army coming from miles away. Now, apparently the church incorporates reused Roman building materials. I don't know what from. And it was originally a monastery founded in about AD 676 on the site of the bulwarks. And it was founded by King Ethelbert of Mercia, who was the son of King Penda the pagan, the last pagan king. And manuscripts record 4 saints buried in Breedon on the hill. King Erdwulf of Northumbria, who was probably actually St Ardulf, and he was buried at Breedon. That was when Breedon was part of Mercia, and he may have lived in a cave close by when he was in exile, and the cave still exists today, known locally as Anchor Church. I've been there a couple of times and filmed it. Quite an interesting story. The Vikings also rampaged through this area, causing the monastery a lot of damage. But after the Norman conquest, they founded a priory here in 1122. The priory did not, of course, survive the dissolution of the monasteries. But one Francis Shirley was looking for a place for him and his family to be interred and bought the priory off Henry VIII. Right, there's something missing from here. You see where it was. Right, you can see like an arch there. Where something was taken out. And when you go further up, there's a V shape there. Right, it says there's like a leper's squint here. Is it that there? How the hell did they get up there? Let's see if she's open. Oh yeah. Oh, this is a tower, I think. Now these three panels are the first ones I've seen at the bottom of the tower, with the frieze going along the top. And it says there are about 63 feet of frieze in all, separate little bits. I've not measured it myself. Now this is a really nice, fine, octagonal 15th century font with a lot of heraldry patterns around it. Makes you wonder if it was an Anglo-Saxon font originally. Now this is a replica of the Breedon Angel, one of the most famous carvings in the country, I think. The original's upstairs in the tower. This looks like a saint, or even Jesus with his hand raised in blessing. Oh, I nearly missed this little character, this little demon or imp carved into the corner of a block. Probably my favourite. Now this one's well preserved. So it looks like a load of birds intertwined. Quite intricately done. Now these are what are described as Anglian beasts, prancing and fighting. They do look rather demonic, don't they? And I think very delicately carved. A bit of what I call Greek style fretwork here. Now this looks like an end section of the frieze work. Is it shell-like? I can't tell. I think this is the largest of the carvings at Breedon, and it represents a lion, or what they thought a lion looked like. Probably never seen one live. Just did this from descriptions, because believe it or not, they didn't have zoos in them days. This is believed to be one of the more elaborate panels, probably from the 9th century, I think. Now these may be saints or apostles. And then when we get the set of three either side another figure, they look even more like it. They may have adorned a stone coffin once upon a time. And the figure in the middle, some people think is a Virgin Mary. And as you see, the eyes are drilled out. And I think they used to have jewels or something in them to make them stand out. And I absolutely love this chair. Like a dark oak, ever so delicately carved. See the delicately entwined like flowers and fruit, and the birds of prey on the lower part of it and on the arms. Amazing. Oh, look at the feet. I never noticed them before. Every time I look at it I see something else. Good job it was chained up as I put it in my pocket. Now, the importance of these carvings at Breedon are vast. We don't have a huge amount of pre-conquest sculptures left, apart from the many cross shafts from that period, like at Elston Fields in the Peaks. Many of the experts say what we're seeing at Breedon are probably Hellenistic, Byzantine and Scandinavian influences, which makes you think trade and cultural exchanges were much more international than we realised. And this frieze at Breedon is the only substantial piece of Anglo-Saxon frieze work we have apart from the odd fragment. And the quality of many of these carvings is extremely fine compared to so much Anglo-Saxon work I've ever seen before. And it's so numerous as well. And this is confirmed by more learned people than me. So this brings up a few questions. The why were these carved is pretty easy to answer. Man's always had felt a need to decorate the places of worship, even the homes as we do now. That's probably simple. But who was it that carved these carvings? There's no real clue, but the craftsman is exceptional and it's got a Byzantine influence, many think. The other question is, how did these Byzantine influences reach Anglo-Saxon England? Some people think it came from manuscripts and books. After all, it was a monastery previously, and there have been plenty of books and scrolls there. Or was it an actual Byzantine craftsman who actually carved them? Now, the church also contains a family pew and Renaissance era church monuments to the Shirley family, which we'll see in a minute or two. And they bought the manor of Breedon in 1593 during the dissolution of the monasteries. Now, the church guide calls it a monstrous item of privacy-seeking furniture, and it shows a social distinction of the age. The Shirley pew is almost a separate room within the church, dominating the seats of lesser mortals. The actual monument dates from 1627, and the pew celebrates the marriage of Sir Henry Shirley and Dorothy Devereux. She was a daughter of second Earl of Essex. Now, Henry was Catholic at the time, so when his faith was heavily persecuted, the pew gave a convenient cover for him to attend an Anglican church while not necessarily following the service. Now, this is an impressive 16th, 17th century Shirley family monuments. I don't usually pay a lot of attention to these, but these are spectacular. And the biggest is, well, terrifying 3-tier monstrosity with sinister babies, together with praying adult family members, and an alabaster skeleton below. I love it. Yeah, this realistic skeleton dates from 1598. And it's very unusual for the time. The monument was built by George Shirley following the death of his wife Frances, and they were surrounded by their children, 2 of who died as infants. And it was completed 20 years before he kicked the bucket. Now, the third story is supported by 6 pillars, and there's a canopy incorporating a large central carved coat of arms. It's impressive, the workmanship in these alabaster carvings, and the colours after hundreds of years are still vibrant. I don't think I've ever seen one as impressive. It's gory and a bit scary, a bit creepy, but I love it. I think it's brilliant. This is a tomb of Frances and Dorothy Shirley, who both died in 1571. And some 60 years after they died, I think it was the grandson, did some repairs to the tomb. And Frances' body was so well preserved, with only a black mark apparently on his toe, but with no sign of decomposition at all. They just rewrapped him and put him back, I think. Now, this similar looking tomb was for John Shirley and his wife, and it's dated 1585. And his wife Jane died in 1582, but is not depicted on the tomb because she'd remarried. Now, the main thing I came to see was a Breedon Angel, and I didn't realise that it was upstairs in the tower. But luckily for me, there was a bloke working on the organ, playing with his organ, so I got to manage to get up there and have a look at the angel, not his organ. Now this is a Breedon Angel. It's a full-length sculptured portrait of the Archangel Michael, and it's probably the earliest representation of an angel in England, and it's one of England's finest surviving pre-conquest sculptures. So delicate, the detailing. I've seen it dated early as the 6th century, but I've also seen the 8th century mentioned, so, you know, it's old. Just a quick look outside at some of the graves. It's notable for its widespread use of 18th century slate headstones, which are generally, some are black, but are pretty weatherproof. And the script and decorations remains clearly legible, hundreds of years later. Luckily I managed to find this one. It's the grave of the bookkeeper of Lawrence Shirley, the 4th Earl Ferrers, the last British peer to be hanged for murder. Now this folly is called the Gateway, and it's a mid-20th century stone archway on Main Street. And I think it was commissioned by the owners of a nearby quarry to try and pacify everybody, I guess. But it's nice, it's unusual. Thanks for watching if you're still with me. And like, subscribe and comment if you want to. It'd be appreciated.